Good afternoon, this is TVP World. You're watching World News. I'm your host Benjamin Lee, and these are the latest headlines. In his United Nations speech, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy warned that the world is facing the most destructive arms race in history.
We are now living through the most destructive arms race in human history, because this time includes artificial intelligence. And if there are no real security guarantees except friends and weapons, and if the world can't respond even to old threats, and if there is no strong platform for international security, will there be any place left on earth that's still safe for people? Stopping Russia now is cheaper than wondering who will be the first to create a simple drone carrying a nuclear warhead. So we must use everything we have together to force the aggressor to stop. And only then do we have a real chance that this arms race will not end in catastrophe for all of us. Don't stay silent while Russia keeps dragging this war on. Please speak out and condemn it. Please join us in defending life and international law and order. People are waiting for action.
Ukraine launched an air and sea drone attack on the Russian port city of Novorossiysk, damaging several buildings. The Black Sea port has become a key base for Russia's fleet after repeated strikes on occupied Crimea.
The attack reportedly occurred in broad daylight, hitting the city center and damaging the Novorossiysk hotel and at least 5 nearby buildings. The Caspian Pipeline Consortium confirmed that its local office was also damaged. The consortium operates a major oil pipeline connecting Kazakhstan's western oil fields to Novorossiysk Sea Terminal. Its facilities had been targeted in previous drone strikes this year. Earlier in the day, Russia attacked a training site of the Ukrainian ground forces, using 2 Iskander ballistic missiles and causing casualties. Despite security measures, a direct hit on a shelter led to many injuries, with emergency services now assisting the wounded.
The European Commission plans to raise tariffs on Russian oil imports as part of its 19th sanctions package. A Commission spokesperson confirmed the move Wednesday in Brussels.
In her press point with President Trump, President von der Leyen referenced additional steps we intend to take. She talked about sanctioning ports where LNG is coming from. This forms part of the 19th package. And she said we want to increase tariffs on oil imports from Russia. So in response to your question, the Commission will present further details on this in due course.
A military plane carrying Spanish Defense Minister Margarita Robles to Lithuania experienced GPS interference while flying over Russia's Kaliningrad exclave. Relatives of Spanish pilots serving on a Baltic air policing mission were also on board.
On her way from Spain to Lithuania, the Spanish Defense Minister Margarita Robles experienced a bumpy flight rather than a peaceful glide. According to her statement, the trouble started when the military aircraft approached the Russian exclave of Kaliningrad.
Russia's aggression in Ukraine is unacceptable, and so are their threats anywhere, neither in Europe nor in the world. We believe it is essential to uphold the right for all of us to move around and fly freely across European territory without there being, as we experienced this very morning, interference from someone we all know.
During a joint press conference, Robles' Lithuanian counterpart Dovilė Šakalienė added that unfortunately such interference is not a new threat, but a problem that's been disrupting the region's air traffic for months.
My colleague said that during the flight into Lithuania, there were attempts to block their aircraft's GPS signal. This is another illustration that Russia is a neighbor that does not uphold any rules, does not care what damage it may cause, and even if the systems of military aircraft are more resilient and they could not block its GPS signal, civil aircraft keep undergoing difficulties because of it.
Thankfully, despite the interference, the aircraft carrying the Spanish official, as well as the relatives of Spanish NATO pilots, landed without any major issues.
On Wednesday, Russia's parliament passed a bill in its first reading to introduce a year-round military conscription aiming to send more troops to fight in Ukraine. The proposal would replace the current system with year-round medical exams, psychological evaluations, and draft board sessions. Defense Committee head Andrei Kartapolov said the change is meant to ease pressure on recruitment offices. At present, Russia drafts young men twice a year for 1 year of mandatory service. Russia's finance ministry has proposed raising VAT from 20 to 22% to finance another year of war in Ukraine. The plan follows comments from President Vladimir Putin last week that higher taxes may be needed to fund the conflict.
According to the Russian Ministry of Finance, funds from the raised value-added tax would mostly cover security and defense expenses. They will enable the Russian army to be equipped with necessary equipment and financially support soldiers along with their families. Additionally, the ministry recommended raising other taxes, such as the one levied on gambling. As per the released statement, the Russian Finance Ministry sees securing financial support for the country's defense as a strategic priority.
A 19-year-old has been detained in the Polish city of Olsztyn on suspicion of plotting terrorist attacks, the fourth arrest in the case. Security services evacuated residents after finding potentially dangerous materials, according to Jacek Dobrzyński, a spokesperson for Poland's Special Service Coordinator.
The 19-year-old was detained this morning at his place of residence. Acting on the order of the district prosecutor's office in Olsztyn, officers of the Internal Security Agency entered the apartment. During their operations, it became clear that there was reasonable suspicion of dangerous materials, possibly even explosives. The Internal Security Agency requested support from the police. Police officers and firefighters arrived, and the uniformed services handled the incident very professionally. The area was cordoned off and residents evacuated. A dog trained to detect hazardous pyrotechnic and explosive materials picked up a scent. Operations in Olsztyn are still ongoing. Importantly, there is no threat to the safety, health or lives of the building's residents. Everyone has been evacuated. Officers of the Internal Security Agency, together with the District Prosecutor's Office in Olsztyn and supported by police and firefighters, are now carrying out all the necessary procedures.
A Polish scientific instrument called Global Solar Wind Structures launched into space Wednesday on a SpaceX rocket from Cape Canaveral of Florida. The device is now installed on a NASA probe that will study the heliosphere, the protective bubble created by sun around the solar system.
3, 2, 1 and liftoff. This is the moment Poland's space community has been waiting for. GLOWS, a piece of tech made in the country, launching aboard the Falcon 9 rocket. GLOWS, short for Global Solar Wind Structure, was built by engineers at the Polish Academy of Sciences Space Research Centre. It will analyse the structure of solar wind, a constant stream of particles emitted by the sun which constitute the heliosphere. The 900-kilogram probe, called IMAP, will now travel to its position between the Earth and the Sun over 108 days, an orbit around L1, a good point for Sun observations. GLOWS is the largest in a series of Polish contributions to important space missions, including the InSight Mars lander and the JUICE probe that currently travels towards the icy moons of Jupiter.
Poland's Aleksandra Mirosław has won her third world title in speed climbing at the World Championships in Seoul, setting a new world record in the process. The 31-year-old Olympic gold medalist clocked 6.03 seconds in the final, shaving 0.03 off her own record. Mirosław dominated from the start, posting the fastest qualification time with a 6.083 second run, just shy of her Olympics mark. She advanced through the knockout rounds to claim her third world crown after titles in Innsbruck in 2018 and Hachioji in 2019. In total, she now holds 6 World Championship medals. And with that, we conclude this edition of World News. But for more news, update, and commentary, please stay tuned to TVP World.